Well, I think you have to offer persons a way out of terrorism, but there have to be guardrails in place. And those persons who seek to enter reformation or rehabilitation programs, those programs have to be very closely monitored and overseen and have to be serious. These people have to make a very serious commitment that is monitored to enter into peaceful processes for achieving their political aims or political change, that there has to be a quid pro quo. It can't, I don't think it works in a blanket sense. And this requires tremendous resources. And also we have to have realistic expectations. Not everyone who lays down their arms and agrees not to be a terrorist won't at some point in the future perhaps take up arms and become a terrorist again. But if you can raise the threshold high enough that it is tolerable for those societies, much like with criminals, we don't expect every criminal that we put in prison is going to be rehabilitated and reformed and never return to criminality. But if we achieve a high enough percentage, that is deemed as something that's acceptable. So I think there does have to be a way out of terrorism, just like there's a way for terrorists to state sponsors of terrorism, for instance, to be removed from the United States State Department list of terrorism sponsors. If there was no way to be removed and no process, why would a country ever turn its back on sponsoring terrorism? So there have to be those incentives, but they have to be very clear and they have to be, as I said, overseen and monitored and be seriously applied. And then they can have many benefits. I mean, not least that it also gives a window not just to the intelligence communities of these countries and law enforcement, but also to academics and experts and scholars to better understand why persons become terrorists, how they are recruited, how terrorist group cohesion is maintained, how terrorist decision-making is undertaken. So there can be benefits. But again, I go back to my original point, there have to be very clear guardrails in place. Otherwise, you lose the confidence of the population.